Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gloria from the FSDC. Welcome to this episode 2 of our Practitioner Speakers Series. Despite the uncertain and challenging outlook in the global markets, there is this sector within financial services which continues to thrive. That is the asset and wealth management sector. With growing demand, the overall size of the asset and wealth management business in Hong Kong reached 28,000 billion Hong Kong dollars as of the end of 2019. And to date, Hong Kong is home to about 1,900 asset managers. They strive to grow their clients' portfolios while mitigating risks, amongst other important functions. And with these numbers, I guess you can more or less imagine how promising this job market could be. Today, we are very honored to have Ms. Elena Wen, the CEO of BEA Union Investment Management, and Mr. Nelson Chow, the chairman of the Hong Kong Investment Funds Association, to share with us more about the work life in the asset management sector. Okay, so here I've got my list of questions that I really want to ask these two experts, and I'm sure you have yours too. You can type your questions at the chat box. And after this moderated session among the three of us, I'll read out some of your questions and invite Eleanor and Nelson to provide their feedback. Okay, as you can see, the two experts are already with me on the screen. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you, Nelson, for the time today. Okay, so perhaps to start with, please let us know more about you both. Can you tell us a bit more about your career, like how it started and how and what you did between where you were, where you began, and where you are now? Would Eleanor like to start first?
Sure. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Elena Wen. I'm now the CEO of a Hong Kong asset management company called BEA Union Investment. It's a Hong Kong-based asset manager, and it's a joint venture between the Bank of East Asia in Hong Kong and Union Investment of a German asset management company. So as you know that I'm a CEO here, my function is to lead the company to provide investment solutions to clients of ours who can be a Hong Kong people or some people from overseas. For myself, I've been in the industry for over 20 years. And to be in this position, as you may imagine, I come from, very high qualifications or whatever, but I can assure to you, no, I started from very root grass. After school, I started as a secretary, working for in a conglomerate in Hong Kong. So at that time, I was just thinking I just want to get a job. But my first question came to me after I got my first job is from my mother. And she asked me, do you think you can be a secretary for all your career life? And the word come to me, what is a career? I don't understand. I just want to have a job. I just want to earn for myself. And by pretty gross, that's what I want. And I have to say, this started working in the asset management company, I realized it is a career which can help me to last really to end my career when retirement comes. So I'm very happy that I have been working from all the way, starting as a marketing manager, client-facing, heading up a business development, and then now leading the company as a chief executive officer of a asset management company, which is a very, very decent job. And I can assure to you, it is a dream job for a lot of people. I can help you to share some of my experience and how to make the role into it.
Thank you, Eleanor. I would say this is legendary, from a secretary to a CEO of a prominent asset management firm. Okay, Nelson, can you share a bit about your story, your background?
Sure. But before I start, I would like to thank the FSDC for inviting me. And I want to say it is absolute honor to be on the same panel with Elena Wen, because she's always a role model in our industry, and along the year, I learned a lot from her as well. She led the Hong Kong IFA many years ago, although she's just been in the industry for 20 years. Sure, she start with a very senior position, but with for me, I think same as Eleanor, I think I start from a very humble beginning as well. Graduated with finance and economics degree, and then I started as a personal banker at a bank. I think the good thing is I received quite a good training from the bank. Something that if I can recommend our audience to do when they first graduate is find somewhere that they can provide a good training. I still remember when I first started, the salary wasn't that high. I mean, actually it's quite low because they said, I provide you with training that costs money, right? So you can learn from it. But I absolutely loved it. I mean, I learned a lot. I know these days they may not provide you with like 3 to 6 months training and ask you to go right into the job. But I had the privilege back then. And also back then, I think that the lucky thing is, it was the start of the wealth management industry. Before that, I don't know if that even exists. I mean, the wealth management department of the bank, I think they just created some 15, 20 years ago, I believe. And then I showed my passion in investment very early. I don't know if that's just a thing that for anyone who study finance economics, they are inspired to be work as investment specialist. But then from a personal banker, I quickly moved to become a investment specialist, and I use a lot of my spare time to study markets and funds and all investment related subjects. And then there was a chance that that there's a role at the fund management firm that apply as a salesperson there, responsible for sales and distribution. And of course, a lot of us, like myself, when we first started, we all inspired to be a fund manager. This is something that we think is a cool thing to do. But with my background at the bank as a banker, I think something that I can offer to the fund management industry is my personal skills, is my customer servicing skills, perhaps some investment knowledge as well. But then I worked my way up, and I look after the Hong Kong and the Taiwan market and now the QDII market in China. So it's been a good journey. It's not a journey without hiccups. I think we overcome a lot of difficulties, but after all, I think, as you, Gloria, you point out at the very beginning, the asset management industry is a growing industry, and we are lucky to be part of it.
Thank you, Nelson, for this sharing of a very wonderful journey. And I can totally tell the hard work is definitely there. To set the scene further, perhaps Eleanor, can you share with us the main categories of job available in an asset management firm? What are the job roles that are in keen demand at the moment?
Sure. But by the title itself, we involve in asset management. So let me classify the job into two parts. Actually, it involves into jobs that relate to more front office. That means more interaction with people, with clients, and also the middle and back office where they're doing more in-house work. So for the frontline jobs, it involves two types. Of course, fund managers, portfolio managers, which a lot of people would like to be. That means the people that are investing into the market. So even with the investment division, there are jobs like portfolio manager, research analyst, quant analyst, and maybe a trader. So you have a spectrum of work. But of course, if you want to be a fund manager, there are some professional qualifications that this is needed. Though not compulsory, but if you have this qualification, then it will be more persuasive and you have the trust from the client and more importantly from your boss that promotion is easier. Then the second part of the front line are more the client servicing, business development type of jobs. As just like Nelson has described, like himself, working to serve clients. So that there's jobs involved like sales, marketing, client servicing, or even product development. These are more to do with interaction with directly with client needs. For this job, we are also separated into more what we all normally call the retail type. That means you are more to market the mutual funds that general investors can invest into, or into the institutional type of business where it is more for segregated mandates. That means your targeting clients are more of the institutions that you go to them, understand their needs, and provide investment solutions for them. So if you are not this type, so if you are a lawyer, if you are studying the law degree or the other faculties, so can you evolve into the asset management industry? Yes, you can. There are job opportunities, just like a normal company. We have the middle and back office jobs available. These are involving like fund administration, fund accounting, performance analysis, risks and compliance, and even IT, information technology, finance, human resources, all these normal general responsibilities are there as well. What are the key demands? I think from front to back, we need people. We do not have enough people in this. This industry is still growing. I can assure you, every day I have requests to hire more people to work for the company. Because even as we experience very bad economy now with this COVID situation, but I can assure to you the industry is still growing. You just asked me, Gloria, with what are the high demand in the asset management industry. In Hong Kong recently, the interest of investment is tilting more to fixed income capability. In Hong Kong, we have a track record or history of building security trading. So the security side, equity side is a bit easier, but to groom fixed income research analysts or portfolio manager, it is still a new sector. And there are areas like, there is also evolving theme, which is speeding up very quickly. A lot of the asset managers are involved into the ESG. ESG meaning, well, what is the proper term of ESG?
Environmental, social, and governance.
Yes, because we have been already a norm, so
yes, absolutely.
There's strong requirement for capability in this area, and this is, I can assure you, it is still growing. We are learning from it because even for the developed economies in the US or Europe, they are developing this theme. So there's a lot of requirement into this area. So I think if students that are interested in this financial sector, there's a lot of things to learn, and you just need to open it yourself, go to a lot of the websites to understand what the rest of the world is doing, and find your interest. And the door is always open, and we have a lot of openings.
That is great. A lot of openings, probably the most important takeaway to students, among others. Thank you for this very clear overview and the very highlights that you've made. I believe the audience will be very interested in knowing how to set foot in this sector and to prepare themselves what to expect in this sector as they start off. So Nelson, what does a junior at an asset management firm usually need to do on a daily basis? Like, what are their key job responsibilities?
Sure. I think maybe I talk about that from the sales distribution perspective. So in my shop, so my junior colleagues will what will they do? I mean, they will be keeping up to date what's going on in the market. So like what Eleanor just said, I mean, you have to know about ESG as a big topic, and it's the topic that will last for many years. So to get up to date of what's going on in the market, the upcoming trend is very important. Be an expert in it, and also you have to know your own product and strategies really well. So we do have a lot of offerings. I expect even my junior staff should be very familiar with every details of those strategies, because when a customer or a distributor come and call and ask about the fund, I want every one of my team members be able to answer in a way that is correct and in a way that is in line with our company's model answer. So I think that's very important. And also in our industry, I don't think you'll be told 100% what you need to do. I always told my junior colleagues as well, although you think you're junior, but no one is going to tell you, you should, go photocopy this, or you should tidy up your mailbox, or you should come up with good ideas. Because I think it's up to you to show your ability and to show me you can be much more than a junior staff, right? So I think it's always important to treat yourself as a team member, as a team player, but you can contribute too. So in short, I think that's what I expect from junior colleagues.
Thank you, Nelson. So I can totally feel how dynamic it is, and how it is challenging, of course, to work in the industry. But there got to be a lot of rewards as well. So just like what asset managers always need to do, they facilitate the clients to make an informed decision. So other than this exciting, rosy side of the picture, we should perhaps also tell the audience the issues they need to be mindful of. So Eleanor and Nelson, in your opinion, what is the worst thing of being an asset manager? This is a tricky question, but we want to know the answer.
Well, first of all, if I were turn back to what we are facing every day, a lot of challenges. So every day there is something new that you are not aware of. You do not know the market, is it going up or down? And you do not know what your clients are experiencing, or is your performance satisfied to your clients' needs? You do not know. So every day you receive a lot of challenges. The market is very volatile. It's just like today, the market was up yesterday, and today we had a down market. So is your portfolio, the performance of the portfolio is up to your client's expectation is something very important. So these are the challenges. So you do not experience every day that you have a client very happy. Hey, thank you very much. Your introduction of your portfolio, I earn a lot from it. No, you receive a lot of calls maybe. And in fact, most of the time, the client will not call to thank you for your recommendation. But the client will call you to say, I'm not happy with what you are offering or the performance of your funds. So you need to know how to handle this kind of situation. My opinion is that this is a profession. So you need to bear in mind that you are helping people. Just like you are in general, people would expect that a doctor is a profession because you are hearing people, you are helping people's health, but we are in a profession to help people's wealth. So this is very important. If you think about your client is giving you the money for retirement, so if you are not doing good, so when retirement comes, he doesn't have enough money to retire. So what are you going to do? Do you have money to lend him, right? So every day you face this question to yourself. And then the other thing is there are a lot of at times that you are facing a client not explaining the portfolio. You are doing a lot of administration work. Just like last year, if you still remember, the market was very volatile. So as a fund manager, we have a lot of things to do to ensure the portfolio is running smoothly. So we have some situation that the sales need to call the client to explain to them some administrative issues. Like there are some special charges involved that they are not experiencing. Or even sometimes when a lot of the clients doesn't understand. So with some of the corporate actions, say for example, there's a two fund is going to merge together, or there's a fund which is not already still in the favor of time. So you might need to do some closing of the fund. So you need to explain to the client. So what you're investing is not available. How to do with your money. So these are the very tough calls. You do not want to make this call. You just want to say, hey, Mr. Chan, good morning. I have a good news for you. Yesterday, we made 10% of return for you in your portfolio. This is very happy. But if you is a situation, your fund down 10% yesterday because of the market, and your fund manager has not done nothing wrong, but it's the market situation. So what to do? So these are very, very difficult. And the other thing is people may not understand. We have because it's a regulated activity. So we are responsible. We have registration with the regulator. So we have to declare or disclose our investment. So if you forget about it, that's a problem. So I have to say, if you want to do more for your own investment, you need to be very careful. I tell you, I have not been investing for my personal investment for 20 years. Because every quarter, I have to report my holdings. So if you forget about it, it's not, well, you will have a very bad black chalk into your certificate, right? So you need to be very mindful of your own behavior. And you need to also well prepared to receive challenges. And these challenges are something you don't understand, you do not expect. Even some of my junior staff come to me like last year, when we are in this pandemic situation, we have a lot of people working from home, and they were just doing client servicing. So they asked me how to do it. I cannot meet with my client. I cannot book them for lunch, and I cannot go out for dinner. And there were times when we have already get the client events. We need to have a very last minute cancellation because the restaurants were closed. So these are the times you have to think of, a way to explain to the client and then still maintain their trust, confidence with you. So you don't have to say, okay, this is a very decent job. One thing which is good, I think that we are paid with a premium. That is for sure. We are a luxury group. So people really want to, in the financial sector, I think asset management is really a very good industry. We cannot pay less than the market because it's so competitive.
Thank you, Elena. So I can, if I may summarize, so it does involve stress, pressure from clients, sometimes from the administrative process, sometimes, and sometimes even from the disclosure requirements. But apart from the very good pay, what comes more important is what you highlight, which I recall the most, is the purpose of the work. You help the clients with their wealth. It's just like any other professions, the purpose, and this is very important. So Nelson, what do you reckon the worst thing in this job?
I agree with Eleanor 100%. And as you know, Eleanor and I think we missed all this IPO frenzy just recently because we simply cannot participate in those IPOs. But sometimes it's not a negative, maybe, right? Looking at the choppy market in the past week, then maybe we once again avoid another trap, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there may be more opportunity for tomorrow. But that's one thing. I think another negative side of being a asset manager, I think, is winning the market is not enough. So just your performance beating the market. Let's say if you're managing a Hong Kong equity fund, and your performance is better than the Hang Seng Index, that's not enough, because people always compare you with peer funds. That means funds that have similar strategies. Maybe they also just invest in the Hong Kong market, and then you have to compare yourself to those fund managers. And if you also outperform those fund managers, then okay, you're an okay fund manager. but sometimes they say, okay, if you up 10%, 10% they say it's nothing, because when we look at the China equity fund, they up 30. So even though you outperform the market and you beat all your peer fund managers, you only up 10. I can invest in China and be able to earn 30% more. So I think you will always face criticism. It's very hard to please every one of them. So my advice is, you do want to collect feedback and collect comments and listen to criticism, but not be too hung up by it. I mean, sometimes it's really things you need to you need to improve some services, some maybe fund strategies. Maybe you should be more proactive in enhancing them. But sometimes it just you cannot please every one of them. So you have to learn how to let go. So I think there's two negative of being an asset manager, but a lot of positive to be in this industry.
No worries, Nelson. Because when you were talking, I actually had a quick look at the view rate, and the view rate hasn't dropped. So which probably means nobody has got scared off yet. And actually here comes my last couple of questions before I read out those that are popping up from the audience. My last couple of questions are actually on career advice. Apparently, you both have interviewed a lot of people. You have also hired a lot of people. So what are the key qualities that you look for from a young candidate or young graduate? Perhaps, I don't know, would you like to share your view first?
Frankly speaking, I haven't been hiring junior people for quite a long time for myself, because I normally hire very senior people. But I think there are still some equalities into it. First of all, every one of us consists of two parts of our skills. One part is our hard skill. So your training, that means come from your training. So from your profession, if you are finance training or economic training or even law degree, so these are the hard training. So when I hire you, I would expect that these are the deliverables that you can provide to the company. But more importantly, when I'm hiring people, I look into their soft skills. I look into how they behave, because that is far more important. If you are a client servicing profession, I would expect that if you are caring, and more importantly, if you are detailed enough, because you need to understand the clients in very detailed requirement. As Nelson just highlighted, we cannot satisfy everything, but if you are caring enough, you earn the trust from your client and make the client confidence is easier. So when bad time comes, I have an experience because when the market had it was so choppy, the fund had not been performing. So I have one client calling me. In fact, she was screaming. She said, "Oh, I lost so much just for the last week. What can I do?" He was crying. He said that was all my savings. And in fact, I was not telling them what I'm doing with the portfolio, but I was just caring about her. And I say, "How are you? Are you by yourself? Do you need help? Shall I come over to your house?" to help you. You know, that was the bonding that we have. And I can't help her to gain back the loss that she had. But she had the warmth, and she later on, she said, okay, let me calm down, and we finished the discussion. I tell you, 1 month later, she called me, and she said, I'm back. Thank you for your caring, and thank you for the call. It was so warm from our last discussion, and I understand this is not your problem, it is the market. But now, what can I do with my portfolio? So we look into her portfolio, and in fact, we find out she has some investment not in my company. So she said, okay, let me redeem the holding over there and come to you. I had new business. So I think your caring mind is very important. I think there are a couple of points like a caring mind, and more important is you need to be well prepared. In particular, when you are meeting a client, well prepared, understand the client's portfolio, understand their behavior, and then talk to the client in their tone. And then the other thing is nowadays people are very not aware of is if your deliverables are accurate, accuracy and punctuality is very important. I tell you it, a lot of the times I have to correct a lot of the client letters before they were sent out. And some people, in particular nowadays, writing a proper business letter is a technique. So I think it is something we need to go back to the basic. It is not, you can see some of us are, like very easy, very confident, but these are built from experience. So we learn a lot, we have heard a lot as well, but we learn every time when we receive, when we experience some challenges, some problem. But you need to know that, okay, we prepare for the future, we prepare for tomorrow. So every day is a learning day.
Thank you, Elena. Definitely what you said is go beyond, way beyond helping the clients with the health, the wealth, but also the bonding, the support that you've given them. So Nelson, what do you think about the key qualities that when you look for from a candidate?
Yeah, when we have a chance to interview somebody, of course we'll get the CV in advance. But as a fresh graduate, there's nothing really much there. So I always say, let's not talk about what you have done in the past. Let's just have a casual chat, about what you like, what you are passionate about. I'm more want to know what this person is made for, what excites them, basically. If they are, very passionate about investment, very passionate about customer service in this field, then I think during a casual conversation, I could have spot that quality. And also, I would love to see a team player, because this is a person that I'm going to work with for, most of my day. We always joke that, we spend more time with our colleagues than with our family, because
Sure.
we work very long hours. So you want to pick someone that you like to work with, and sometimes, most of the time that the person that you like to work with is a team player, right? I don't like to work with somebody who are calculated or over calculated. And I always advise junior staff that if I pay you 30,000 per month, don't deliver only 28,000 worth of work. You should deliver 40,000 worth of work. So then I would say, I get my money's worth, and then I may want to promote you because you really have the quality and ability to excel But these days, what I've been seeing is some of the junior staff, they don't want to overwork, right? They want a work-life balance, which is fine. But at the end of the day, when you deliver your work, when you try to accomplish something, then you want to overachieve them. You don't want to say, okay, the bar is here, so I just hit the bar or just a little lower, so to save some of the work, some of the hard work, so you can be go home very peacefully. I would like to see some passionate people who over deliver. I think during a interview, you don't get to know everything about that person, right? Because you always show the best of yourself. But if you really chat with them casually, I think you can tell the difference whether the person is passionate about the work or not.
Thanks, Nelson. So audience, you heard what Nelson just said. So bear in mind what the management expects. I actually still have a lot of questions on my own list, but I can see in the chat box there are questions from the audience which are way better than mine. So I will simply jump to this Q&A section. You can still fill in your questions as we talk along, but again, due to time constraint, I can only select some of them and for the two experts to answer. Okay, I see a few questions that asked about the same thing. So I will try to group them together. That is on the opportunities arising from the mainland market, including the Greater Bay Area. And also they asked about how Hong Kong will continue to lead in this wealth management business vis-a-vis the overall huge market in China. So any thoughts around this? Anyone?
Okay, let me go first on this one. For the Greater Bay Area, we've been talking about it every day within my company, or as the chair of the Hong Kong IFA. So Hong Kong IFA is Hong Kong Investment Fund Association. So our members are the asset management firm in Hong Kong, and we come together and we discuss a lot. And there's a big scheme coming, which is called the Wealth Management Connect. If you have not heard, just go Google it, and then you will find more details. It's really the connectivity with China and integrate Hong Kong into the Greater Bay Area. I think it's really a big opportunities for everyone in Hong Kong. So just look at the Greater Bay Area. We always say, Hong Kong is 8 million people, and in the Greater Bay Area is 17 million people. And with the Connect, that we hope that the mainland investor can invest into Hong Kong products, and also for the Hong Kong citizens who, if they prefer, can also invest in mainland financial instruments. So that's what Wealth Management Connect is about. We're still waiting for the final details, but I would say it will come very soon. So just be prepared for it. I mean, the good tips is just go on and get more information about this Wealth Management Connect.
Wonderful. A lot of opportunities going on. And perhaps the next question, I will invite Eleanor to give us some feedback, which is on the preparation. A few of the audience are very interested in keeping themselves well prepared. So the question is around how to keep themselves closely on track with the market. How to get themselves well prepared and well informed about market developments.
Sure. Well, just highlight, say, for example, one of the opportunities around is about this Greater Bay Area, so GBA. So nowadays, it is not the time when I started my career, information is everywhere. So you go to your computer and then you search for news about, the financial services, then you have a lot of information around. But if you ask me particularly on your preparation, there are a couple of things. We just highlighted one of the opportunity is about this GBA area. That means you are now facing a bigger audience, which is not just in Hong Kong, but is around the 9 cities in China, in southern China. So a lot of those, they are not particularly speaking Cantonese. So can you speak Putonghua? It is important. So can you master Putonghua, and also can you do your presentation in Chinese? So this is something you need to get yourself prepared. And the other thing is, if you think about this big opportunity, which is coming close to us, I think nowadays, in particular, how to reach this big investor group is a challenge. So we are thinking deep. Every one of us is in the industry thinking very, very deep on digital application. So if your digital application strong, I tell you what, as an old chap in the company, I always hold up my iPhone and ask my young people, hey, how to do this app? What does this app, meant for me? How to process it? I think to get yourself prepared, in fact, you do not need to spend so much of you think of technical aspects, but something around yourself. Every day we hold up our smartphone, then you play around the application and you learn a lot from it. And in particular, if you think of interest in the GBA, the culture is very different between the Chinese and Hong Kong. So you need to go around to understand them more. If the border reopen, I encourage you to come to China, go to China, and stay there for a couple of days, at least. I have a habit. So for myself, I do golf. So a lot of the time, over the weekend, I go to China and play golf. I need to play 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and stay there overnight. So on a Saturday evening, what do? I talk to the people there. In fact, I understand quite a lot from them. And also watch their TV, their local program. Of course, now we can access those programs in Hong Kong as well. But you will immediately see a very, very big difference in cultures. And in particular, I like to see their commercials, which is very different from the Hong Kong style. So I think understanding the culture is making your road easier. So of course, from Monday to Friday, I think go to school and study your profession, study your academic is important. And over the weekend and Sunday, and do some, relax yourself. Do what what you're interested in. I have some friends, they like to play, games on the smartphone. Continue playing it. I don't discourage them, because when you are into this game, in particular, the games are developed in China, and you understand the culture, what they're thinking, and you have more topics with them. So my advice is study your subject well, and be aware of what is happening around you. Continue with your habit. Don't stop them. I don't discourage people playing those TV games, which is good. If you're not spending too much time on it, make a balance.
Thanks, Elena. The next question is around the emerging trends. Just a number of you have highlighted the importance of ESG. And here's the question on technology. To what extent do you think will AI, artificial intelligence, affect the asset management industry? Will AI or other technology affect the employability in this, or the job market in this industry?
Okay, maybe I have a go first.
Sure.
I think, we always use AI, artificial intelligence, and big data and whatnot to approach every questions that we have, because we think, this is the trend, this is the cool thing, we have to apply to every industry. I have no problem with that, but artificial intelligence, big data is really how to apply to your daily work. I think is the key. And in asset management, we can apply in many ways. In fact, we are doing it like in investment analysis. We do get access to a lot of the data, and we try to have our data analysts to really dig into every details and find every possible tips that can help us improve our investment performance. And even in customer service these days, technology become a big part of it. So as you know, we are in a pandemic situation, and it's not like we can go out and have large scale seminars and have the interaction with directly with client, physically with client, like we always do. So how to communicate with our distributors, the banks and the end clients become a major issue. And we figure out that, since we are all communicating now through virtual means, you can produce, let's say, videos, clips that we can produce it more professionally, and then just put on our website or send it through for our clients to view. In fact, this is a very productive way of doing, because you can just produce 1, 2, 3 clips and everybody can see it, and you can ensure the quality as well. So what I want to say here is don't be too hung up by the word like the big data, like the artificial intelligence, all this, but be aware the growing trend of how technology really disrupting every industry. I think every industry would have been impacted, but by different degree, I think. But I think we just mentioned the 3 trends, the major trends that for our industry now, that I think students or graduates should be aware of: the connectivity with China, the growing trend of technology, and also the ESG. So that's all I want to say, really. Thank you.
Let me add one point on that, in particular for technology. In particular, that will be an interesting topic for students that are studying in the IT. We need a lot of programmers. As we highlighted, every day we face a lot of data around. We use a lot of different data, but how we group this data together, we need the help of the programmers to help us to draw a lot of programs. Say, for example, I can quote an example. The fund manager will put in, say, for example, want to invest into one stock. So he placed into the system the subscription order. So how this order is routed to be processed in the back end, which is, giving the order into the exchange and then giving the order to the custodian. And the next day when the valuation finish, come back to us as a valuation. So we need a lot of the programmers to make this language. So this is what we talk about is the internal discussion, internal talk. So we don't necessarily talking, but we use the program to map these things. So I do not think there's always be discussion about, can AI replace a human being? No, should be the other way around. How we human being utilize AI to do our job. I think this is the other way around.
Sure. So no worries, there are still a lot of jobs that you can do. Okay, so here actually comes to the last question, because I'm mindful of the time. There are still a lot, but perhaps there is the one that was more about your personal choice back then. So I think I find it quite interesting. Why did you choose to start or have your career in asset management, but not wealth management, like private banks or others?
Maybe I go first. I start in a wealth management business. I think as a personal banker at the bank, I'm in the wealth management business. But sometimes I think maybe it's the fate. I don't know. Well, I mentioned I quickly developed a passion about investment, and then the opportunity came, and I went to asset management. But I think it's by choice. I think, if you are in a wealth management business, there are a lot to it than investment, right? Just like Eleanor points out, you are responsible for the financial health of that person that you're looking after. So apart from investment, there's insurance, there's custodian trustee, that trust that you can create for the client, and many more. You look at the total health of a person, right? Investment only a part of it, but somehow I think, I find my passion in that particular area, so I try to excel in that particular area. So it's up to every individual how they like it, really, I think.
Sure. I don't know. Is there a particular reason asset management versus wealth management? Of course, we can see it as a subset or separate matter, but is there a reason for your choice back then?
It's a timing issue. For me, when I get into the industry, it is asset management is a growing sector. So I'm so lucky to get involved. And my passion into asset management, it really helped me to build this into my career. And in fact, after so many years, when I think back, it is a much better industry for myself because of my personality. I like to have ownership for some projects rather than a group of clients. My clients are more, when I joined the industry, I was the sales for distribution. So my clients are the distributors rather than individuals. But if you are involved in wealth management, you are more to do with individuals. So that is not my interest, which is now I realize. But if I were just at a time when it was a timing issue, when at that point in time when I got into wealth management, I may be involved in the wealth management industry. But if you ask myself now after all this year, and I would think I'm so lucky that I've been in the asset management industry. First of all, it is still a growing sector in the financial sector. Amongst all these different subsectors in this segment. And the ownership, which helped me to build it as a career, is very important. So you think about it, it's not just a piece of advice, but you need to understand from front to end. It is a total solution. So for me, it is a coincidence, but eventually I find it is so important. There's so many technical know-how to build into making it as a career. I think it will be a deeper knowledge than a pure wealth management for me, and it is much more to learn from it, and I'm lucky.
Thank you, Elena, and thank you, Nelson. The clock is ticking, but once again, I want to thank you so much both for sharing not only the overview of the asset management sector, but also your stories, your journeys, from how you started to where you are now. I believe the audience have learned a lot as well. Thank you very much for your time today, and I hope it's an enjoyable session for you all as well in front of the screen. We will have other Practitioner Speakers Series going on very soon. Stay tuned and we'll keep you posted. Thank you both. Thank you all and have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.